Well folks, Peter back again. Boys are just about to head off home, and I'm just going to have a crack at doing an old trick that I used to do 40 years ago when we were a bit tighter then. This tyre was a new tyre, the other one was leaking, and where we're going down the development block, you can't afford having flat tyres, so you lose half a day if you've got to come back and fix it. So we put a new tyre on that, but the old tyre that came off was, it had been spiked, but back when I was a young fella, I used to do some tyre repairs that you don't probably publicise generally, but see, the stake or the spike went in there. That's where it's come through. It's spiked there and it's sort of put a split in it. Now, what I used to do was I'd buff this back with an angle grinder until you got to naked rubber, and then I'd build a patch with just silicone, make a bubble over it, let it dry for 24 hours. Whenever I did that, I never had a single failure. Now, no one recommends it, and you wouldn't, even though I did do it in those days on my road car, you wouldn't do that now. But for an implement, I think it's worth having a crack. Haven't done it for a lot of years, but because this tyre has just got that one injury, and we could stick little rubber fillers in there and maybe patch it that way, but I'm just going to try seeing whether it will work with the old way that I used to do it with silicone. We've got a spare rim here, that one there, and it's going to be tubeless, so we're just going to see how it goes. I've buffed that up with the angle grinder, so I'm just going to put a dome of silicone over that now, and then we'll let it set and we'll see what happens. This is just industrial grade silicone, so it's nothing special. Righto folks, that's what I've done. This is just a spare tyre. So we're just doing it just as an experiment again, just visit it and show the boys that what can or can't be done. So it'll be assembled, pumped up, put in the shed, and it'll go back on the implement, and if it fails, well, there's no harm. But if it stays up, well, it's a good spare tyre. So that's the purpose of it. So we'll see what happens. It's probably about half an inch thick in the middle, and then tapers off like a normal vulcanizer patch. But I'll let that set for probably 20 hours, and we'll assemble it on that rim and see how it goes. An update on this tyre that I'm experimenting with. We've got it refitted on the rim, and I've put 35 psi in it, and the patch that I put on the inside has been there for 18 hours, and so you can see that by inflating it now, it's just pushing a little bit of the uncured silicone through the crack to the outside, which will mean then when it dries, it's pretty well a seal, pretty well through to the outside. Anyway, that's only a small amount that's come out, so there's still 7/8 or 80% still left on the inside of the tyre to act as a patch. Anyway, I'll just scrape that away, and there's that much. Well, there was probably 8 times that amount on the inside. Anyway, see what happens.